top, let me go ahead and get signed in. Most of you, I think, went to your email possibly, or on the start page. Look for something,
I didn't know that Lisa showed me.
look for something called docs or documents at the top.
It'll be at the top left if you're already in your email.
You can see it right here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everybody make it to their documents. All right. Is everybody seeing a page that kind of looks like this?
You may have some things in depending on if you've already used it.
Okay. I'm gonna just go ahead and watch. Yeah, you don't have to do anything. In Microsoft Word, I went ahead and typed up this document here on my computer. This is the syllabus we're going to go by today. And I've saved this out on the desktop, and right now I'm going to show you how to put a document that I've created, or in your case you created, but just watch, I'm not going to do it hands-on, and upload it to Google Docs. This is the syllabus document here on my desktop, on my computer. If I go in here to Google Docs, there's an upload button. And this will let you bring any documents that you have on your computer into Google Docs. It works most of the time. There is some compatibility issues, but if you have any problems, just let us know in the future. But right now I'm going to go ahead and upload this one so we can share this document. I'm going to select the file to upload. Find it on the computer. Here's the document I made. If we have enough time, we can try this ourselves later. And then start upload. Now that is taking that document from my computer up to Google Docs. Now I'm done with that, so I can go and use this link right here to go back to Google Docs. And as you can see, it's now in there. So I'm going to click on that syllabus document, just like I would on as any file on my computer. But it's actually in Google Docs now. And that opens up that file in its own word processor on the web. I'm no longer using Word. And I'm using Google Docs as my Word program. It is still on the desktop. When you upload, none of your files change on your computer. Now if I go ahead and edit this, those changes will take place on here, and I have a save button. You know, I can select text, type, just like I would in Word. The really cool feature about this, though, is you can share documents with other people and you can collaborate on that same document. And you can see the changes take place. I'm going to go ahead and share that with each of you guys. That might be a little bit time-consuming process, but I want to try it anyway, because we do need to show this process.
And analysis, you can see the update process. There's a revisions history, and it goes back quite a ways. Even I would just, for example, say 30 days at least, and you can see who's revised it, and you can click on it, and it'll show you what it's looked like at that date and time, without actually reverting to that. You don't have to worry about if you click on it, will it undo all the changes you made. It just shows you what it is. You can actually revert back to it though if that's what you want to do.
Yeah, I'm going to put all you guys on here, and we're going to go ahead and go through this.
Can't you just share it with announce?
Yeah, that's a great idea. Okay, go ahead and refresh your page, let's see if it showed up there. Go to all items.
Sometimes you'll get more prompts in there.
You don't even have your notice as well.
Go ahead and refresh this.
It's on our email now.
Okay, starting to come through then.
Hey, go check your mail.
It'll still show up.
Click on the message to see. It should actually also fit right in your docs anyways. Click on that to see.
Oh, there it is.
It's shown in there. Go back to your doc.
So where are we? Go back upstairs? Yeah. Go back to doc. I just don't.
Get it now? Just wait.
Right here? Oh. How'd you get that? You go back. You're there. I guess.
It may or may not, sometimes, for most of the time, it will work where it just shows right in your docs, whether you have to, without any interaction. But it is in your email, and if you click on the email, it'll prompt you and say, would you like to see this document? And when you click on that link, it takes you to the document, and that document will be in your Google Docs. Most of the time, though, it is, you don't have, even if you get an email that says, yes, you can share this document, it should automatically be in your docs. Probably with sharing it to the now, since it has to go to all 500 and some users, there might be a delay for Google to push it all the way to
Yeah, it's just the timing.
It does whatever it wants.
Yeah, those are all those.
So if you click on the time, there's
500
Well, why would you do this? Just do I send that paper to like
Okay, that's our syllabus.
email or something?
That's right.
Find it. I don't even make files. So it would have to be in a file, just send it to you.
So I showed you how I've uploaded the file, and I showed you how to share it with people. They will get email notifications, and that's handy because not everyone goes and looks in their Google Docs for new documents. So the email notification is nice. It gives you a link to the document that you shared with someone else. If somebody wants to, why don't you go ahead and just type something in there so that they all know about it, at least they'll know to type. And then we can see that it'll show up for everyone else live. Linda, you want to go ahead and type something in there? Okay, Linda's typing some stuff in there. She's typing it on her computer. Go ahead and click save.
No, and now also go over some of
It'll
this
just
stuff.
eventually go to
It's in your docs now, it should be. If you go back to your
No,
docs.
Okay, it's saved. There's what she put. I'm here today. Now, I don't really want that on there, so I'm gonna take that off. And you can see that I can change that, save it, and we can fight over that document all day.
So you can share
Did you refresh
if
or
we
something
want
to get it?
that to go to everybody?
Yeah, it's basically instead of attaching it as an email attachment, and then that is a static file, it's just, you have to change it and send it back. This makes the changes live.
What's nice about this, I'm sorry.
That's right.
What's nice about this is if there's several of you working on a single document and they're all putting ideas in this document, you can share it like this. And instead of having to worry about, well, did I send the latest version to so-and-so? Did I get the latest version from so-and-so? I don't want to overwrite something that somebody else has already done. Well, by sharing the document like this, I don't know who put it on there, but you saw someone put, we are here today or something like that. It allows you in real time to see what others are doing to the document at the same time. So you don't have to worry about overwriting somebody's or adding something that gets deleted by somebody else. It all comes together in one document and allows you to share it with others at the same time. So it's really nice when you're working on those big projects or writing up a big anything, a big report that you're sharing with other people. It's a real nice way. Now this isn't limited to just Word documents. This also works on spreadsheets. So all you secretaries, I know that I send you guys spreadsheets all the time with information for kids collection or that type of stuff, and you're trying to share that with your principal or your counselor. And it's real easy for these documents to get tracked over each other. But this will allow you, 3, 5, 100 people all to collaborate on the one document and not worry about stepping on someone else's copy and deleting or missing something that you've already done. So it's a real nice feature that allows us to really communicate a lot better with each other.
And as Noah's pointed out, over in the top right, some of you may be able to see that you can see also editing, and it'll show the user's name who's editing. And when they make active changes, the page should auto-refresh and represent what they've added to it. So you can, for the most part, it works 100%, and it's great because you are actively seeing what someone else is doing. And you can chat with them too.
You know, she typed something in there and then she had us push save.
You can push save, and Google also auto-saves the document every 5 minutes or so, or every time you make a change, it'll flash up there real quick, auto-save, and it'll tell you what time it auto-saved.
Okay.
But most of the time, you don't have to click save.
So she doesn't have to save or anything to do this, then for us to see it?
No, once the document is shared, if you share a document with just 4 people, and you make your change, it's automatically reflected in their version. You don't have to
Except hers
send
didn't
anything
show
else.
up on my screen, thinking she was doing it.
It's because this document is shared with the entire district, so it takes time to replicate with that many people.
Yeah, we're seeing some lags in the documents because we sent it to all district users.
If you were just a few group, it's very quick, because we share documents with each other in our office, and it's usually only a few people, of course, and it's very quick. We can see who's editing something
we can
within
actually
seconds.
we can actually be on the phone, and each of us in our own office be on the phone with each other and modifying the same document one time, and you can literally see as it gets saved, the changes pop up on your screen. It's a lot quicker when it's not such a wide group, so.
If you're not working on it at that time, will you have notification that there have been changes made to it, or is that
You
something
can
you
set
just
up
have to go in?
notifications on the document, and they can, depending on how you want to be notified, email or SMS, text messages to your phone, it can send notifications that document revision has been made.
Is it possible to change it without having everybody else see the changes right away?
I don't believe so.
Well, the changes are right then, as soon as you save it, or it auto saves for you, it's gonna make the changes to the file. If you're not, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Is there a way to see who made the changes?
Yeah, actually, that's a great question, because up here under File, you can go to see revision history, and since we're all part of the same district here, it does show who it is, you know, their name.
And it shows a date.
So this shows that all of you have opened it, but maybe most of you haven't added anything. Lisa added sounds great.
So if you're a smart aleck like me and you put something snappy in the middle of the document, thinking nobody's gonna find out who did it, we can find out.
It does give a lot more visibility to the changes that have taken place in the document. All right, if you're confused, we're gonna go start over here with doing this yourself hands-on so that you can see this through the whole process. Let's go up to File and let's just go New Document. We're gonna make our own.
Where does it say new document?
File,
In the File menu.
not in the browser, it's actually on your Google.
Yeah, that's gonna take some getting used to.
Go back to
the
editing.
Menus versus what's in.
Go back to editing.
I actually still have trouble sometimes with copy paste.
There's
and I think
files there.
little inconsistency with whether it copies paste to your
No, you don't have to go that, you want to
Go
go
to
to your
document.
new document. There's new at the very top. And then it'll hover over and it'll ask you what type of document you need to click on.
Does everyone have a blank
And
page
we're
in
just gonna
front
create
of
a
them?
regular doc.
Go to document?
Be careful which button you're clicking, because right click's enabled on the mouse. So you want to click on this side.
Let's go ahead and go in. And then now you're gonna go to, let's go to File, New. Okay, most of you are there. Go ahead and type a little something in there, it doesn't have to be anything meaningful. Okay, and hit save, which is the little disk icon right here.
You might show them that icon again in just a second.
Right. What's it? Okay, I want everybody now to go to the share button. And hold down on it, and you're getting a menu that says invite people here. Share and then invite people. Yeah. Share button, the top right. Invite people.
You need a speaker.
Okay. I'll try to keep it loud. Everyone should have this box open now. On the right side, share. All right, right here in the invite box, if you type someone's name, let's type the person's name that's immediately to the left of you.
Nobody.
Don't know them, introduce yourself.
I don't have anybody else but see you.
Yeah, you sure do.
There's somebody that's around here.
And you'll see as you start typing that name, it'll autofill their name and email address for you.
I automatically, it's the left side you automatically do.
For sure. Okay, and this is where you get the option right here below. You can see, do I want to edit the file with this person? Or do I just simply want to have them view it? To edit means they can change it. To view is a read-only copy that you'll send them that they'll be able to view but not change. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I'm going to share this to edit. And that's probably how most of you want to do that for now. And at the very bottom on the right, you can see the send button. Click send.
And the message is for the,
Yep.
You can type a message or just leave it blank. Google will automatically just say a document is shared with you from this person. So if you want to type a message to,
Right now, we can edit. I put you as the piece.
Access, does that mean that right now with Barb and I can see because anyone could
Yes. What this is doing right here is just confirming what you just done. It's showing you for sure that you want this next person here to do it.
yeah.
you're the only
That'll go to everybody.
Yeah, this didn't go to anyone. I am
Yeah, it's just, you don't get the options, you didn't, you're not the owner, but you're the owner of this one, it's paid. This is what I think of, this is what you.
Okay, like I said, this is just confirming what you just did. Go ahead and click save and close. Now it'll actually go to that person. So,
yeah, you can do that.
okay.
I could edit this if I wanted to.
Yeah. Is that the one you sent? Yes.
Everyone got that? Save and close.
You don't normally have.
Getting ready to delete it.
If I wanted to modify it, which I thought would happen, I just start typing and say.
So then, do we just click on it if we wanted to open?
Yes.
Could you use it as email? I used answer.
Okay, let's go ahead and close
I mean, you
that
would
out.
really.
Okay, we're gonna
And
close out.
you should be able to go back to your main
It
document
should show
window.
it's been updated.
How do we
Either
close
go to
out?
mail and then back to documents, however you want to do it.
Just hit the X.
And it should show up in there.
Or you're still in it, if you wanna get it together.
Would it be, come out, get out of it?
Or you want it out of it?
In that document,
Or
or
you want it
message,
out?
or message,
Or you want out of it?
or the document she sent to me.
Should. It's not a document.
No, I'm just, I did. Oh.
Well,
Today's good.
Should the next sentence come up?
Yeah, it takes a second. I mean, it's just like, it takes a second. Jimmy out there, it's on their server.
I thought, is it out there? Yeah. On the internet? Yeah, she sent it, that's what I thought.
We'll have several ones in there.
Are we supposed to be back there? I don't know.
Right there in that page. Just click back up on documents.
Close some of the multiple tabs.
I know, mine was too. Oh, really? I'm surprised it.
Did you give her arms? Oh, that's right. Sorry. No?
They shut it all on this
Oh, there's 40. It's on that same window.
Good?
She's
Yeah. Well, I wondered, I parked way over here, you guys got here about the same time I did, and I thought, oh, I think you guys should walk the door.
I was halfway dressing around, and some other car came, and I was trying to back up.
Get the right angle.
Yeah.
If I don't
It's a
start
big
it out.
enough spot that I just started off from. I finally could see.
Okay, is everybody pretty comfortable doing that now? Can you do that on your own? Yeah, too.
You got it?
That's one thing.
Did you get it in there?
How on earth did I get it in this?
I said,
It was worth it.
I still proud of myself on that one.
Oh, I did the same thing.
That was just if you wanted to
Okay, so if I go back to where
The
they
only
are
reason
now.
you send one is create it that way.
Yeah, see, that's what I just see the other side. No, I think everything, this side, unless you want to.
You guys aren't just leak files on it?
What do you?
Okay, we're gonna go back to, the main screen. Is this where everyone is mostly? Are you out of your document? Okay. Like you can see here, you can create multiple files. There also is a folder system, just like on your regular computer, you can create a folder, and you can delete files too. You can see there's a trash. There's some other options, but we're not gonna get into that right now. The first thing I wanted to show you is the folder. Let's go ahead and make a new folder. Up here at the top, where it says create new, go down to create new folder. And you can see here there are other types of files, like Noah was saying, you can make a spreadsheet, presentation, even a form. So go to folder, type a name for that folder, it doesn't matter what.
Right there. Yep.
I got way out, so now. Grant.
For everyone that's at this point, just click save, and it should bring you back to that main screen. If not, go to all items, and then give it a minute and your folder will show up.
Did you save yourself else?
Do you click save?
No, you can save it.
And then that's it.
Now, that test document that you created,
Have to refresh.
we're gonna put it in that new folder that you just
Where?
made. See down there at the bottom, Corlin, you've got that folder showing up.
Did you need? Oh, that's your folder.
Called test folder.
The one's not.
Left side, second page.
My folder.
It's just saying, oh, you're already.
And try to
You're
create
just like, see, mine's a folder.
For everyone that's here, let's go ahead and check the box out next to the document. If you want to move into the folder, the test one preferably. Check the box right here next to the document that you want to move.
If you go back to your
All items.
all items.
Yep.
Click your all items.
Okay.
So if you want to look back at the documents you currently have.
How come my folder isn't there?
Click on one of them.
Okay.
Click on one of them, and then go up to your folders menu, and you'll see that menu come up,
There you go.
and then put that in the test folder or wherever you name your folder. Just click on it.
So that's a
Apply
folder.
change.
That's a folder.
Right here in that box. Right there.
Why would I do this? So
If
bring
you're-
this folder, say it's
Some of the folder, some other things, you have all sorts of stuff. You have all
pictures.
Go
pictures
ahead and check
here.
your box.
And then if I do this, I can send it to you or whoever this is.
You got a new folder.
I clicked syllabus, then I went to the folder. No, I thought I
And then you
did.
click on that box
Go
there.
ahead and click on this.
Because that's your folder, you just select.
Apply your change.
And then the folders.
It should be down here. And you can
Check that box.
it'll show down here. Yeah, show right there.
Drag.
You can if you want.
And there it is. So you have all school stuff here. All your personal stuff in the personal. Make another folder.
So
Maybe you
why,
want
what's the purpose of this? Just send it?
No, this is just something you organize. PowerPoints.
Oh, really?
I maybe I made up some.
Put it in my phone.
Then, like, on my laptop, I have, like, like, books.
You would have to upload them if you're currently.
Yeah.
Then you just want to do desktop. Is it number 1, 2?
Yeah. Then it's 05.
Then if you click this, it will open it up.
If you click on link,
How do I get, how do I go back? Can I go back? I think I did something.
yeah. One out, documents.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so see,
Uh-oh.
and here,
I just think I go back.
okay, on here, then, you can click all items.
last thing that will make it dangerous now, we're going to delete a file.
We're gonna go to what now?
If you go back to all items again,
And now what?
the top left right here. Check the box next to a file, like the test file we made, that you want to delete. Just check the box right next to that file. Make sure it's something you don't want. And then just go up to the delete box right here.
Because all items is everything.
Do you like that?
So that's why it's just showing.
Yeah, that just is telling you that you're deleting that for both the person you shared it with and yourself.
Now, you can delete it just for yourself, but if you do that, you need to choose someone else to own it. You can pass the ownership of the document to someone else.
So now you have documents.
Sounds good.
I have, hers says something over there.
Okay, we're gonna take a couple minutes and just do some questions. If you got some questions, just tell them out loud. We'll try to solve them right now. Right here.
Over Google Docs.
Just obvious.
One quick thing,
This
if,
is,
a quicker way to do it instead of just doing check boxes and then going to each menu, if you just want to, if you have a folder, or if you want to move to the trash, if you hover your cursor, the mouse cursor, over the document or whatever, a handle, if you click on it, and it will grab it, and you can drag it to your trash, to your folders that you've created, and it will auto sync that to the folder where they'll be there. Now the items will still, if you are left at all items, if you're looking at all items, every document you have will be in there. And that is just to show you everything you have. It'll always be like that. However, some of those documents may actually be in other folders. And how you clean that list up is by just clicking on your folder. If you've created a folder for health or anything like that, all the documents you've created for health and tagged for health, if you click on the health folder, they'll all be in there and they'll just be those documents. But the purpose of the all items is just to give you an overall view of every document you have. It could be, sometimes it's disorderly just because there's just all that stuff in there. But that's what the purpose of the folders are, is to help you clean it up if you just want to only look at certain things in there. But that's kind of an easy way to move things around. It's just by by left clicking on it, and you can just drag it to your trash or to a folder.
Is everybody comfortable with doing this? Could you do it on your own?
How do I get to all my documents? Okay, so like, I'm gonna delete that one.
Now, careful, because the syllabus is changing. There you go.
But the syllabus wouldn't let me delete it, and I didn't own it. So then I can just delete it.
No.
They're saying, be sure, yeah, are you sure you want to? Because you should.
So you'll take it away from me being able to see. That's what I did for you as well.
It doesn't matter this way. Oh, it doesn't matter.
So these are the ones that George was learning how to do.
Yeah, it's kind of faint. Like I said, there's two ways to do it.
Can she give us the one?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's so faint, that's
But
why.
see, I can't delete it because.
You can go to trash,
And like I said, all your
it might be in there, but you've got trash set already. Yeah, well,
okay.
the trash is set to auto clear. So,
I'll write the thing.
so I think if you would have gone, if she would have deleted it, and gone right in the trash, she probably would have that. But it's set to Don't worry, it's here.
Okay, that's
You're
all
not missing
for
anything.
Our next section is over.
Yeah, as I said, I'm sure we can get it back to you.
So if I had, it shows up in shared with me, and I can put that extra folder.
You can sort your
I can't delete it out of shared with me because it will also take it out of the extra folder too. It will also delete it.
It's only in the extra folder, but it's showing in shared because it is shared. The shared isn't an actual folder, it's just a way for you to see all your shared
It's a
documents.
filter.
But if I delete it out there, it's deleted out.
It's only one, the file is still in your folder. So if you delete it out, delete it anywhere, it's gonna delete it in both locations.
Well, yeah, because your email should say we have this. So
Now it's gone.
it's gone.
And if you, what's that?
Yeah, I think it's.
Mine says it's redirected, I can't get that.
What this is a computer that's got your files, you can give it to Lance, it'll leave yours, it'll show up in Lance's. But if you crash for everyone, if you share it,
Yeah, so when I send my map file, I believe it's
But earlier, when I pulled up just my regular. Calendar.
yeah, it's just say, show me everything that I'm sharing. Yeah, and when she wanted to clean it, it would say.
You can either delete it, you can share that document. Yeah. Share document. The other person. If you don't share it, if it's your document, usually if there's any problem, they'll be hard to share. Most times we'll just go.
What do you want to do first? If this is a document that you guys are sharing back and forth and you want to add your information, if we just come in here and put it in the document.
And you can't click on it and specify what it's going to
Fresh, it will grab my calendar.
Well, we're going to start moving on to Google Calendars. If everybody's ready. I see some people have their calendar open.
But this now is over on Google Docs, that right? Okay.
Now it'll run back to the if you want to add something, this is where you would add email It's a little confusing. This is probably the most confusing part about the whole system. That's why we want to cover it first. The rest of it's in the builder. And then we show you the easy stuff so that you feel like you walked away in a positive light. Shortcuts. Anyway,
All right, I'm going to start with Google Calendars. So if you haven't gotten there, if you need help.
just like with the documents, you know, check the top of your page. Almost every page has a set of links for you to jump around inside the system. So if you're in your email, look at the top of the page, you can go to calendar. If you're in your documents, look at the top of the page, you can go to calendar. Vice versa, if you're in your calendar, you want to go back, look at the top of the page, use those links, point them out up there for me, Grant.
You always have your start page, which is the first thing that after you hit webmail on our main website for the district, that's what it went to, is the start page, where you can personally customize
We
things.
didn't work on here last time, so.
You have your mail, we're at calendars, documents again. We're not gonna discuss sites. And there's a link for more items, there's a whole lot usually, but you're just anyways. Before you is calendars. This is this account, the virtual calendar. The line here, of course, shows you what time it is at. Over to the right, left.
You might show them how to get everybody to the views. I see a lot of people on day view or something on.
Oh, really?
So that everybody's looking at the same thing instead of just the week view.
If you look up at the screen, my cursor is moving over these items, these little tabs. These are customizable to some extent. You'll always have a day, a week, and a month. This one is customizable depending upon how many days of that week you want to see. And the week is actually customizable if you want to only view the weekdays. And if you don't want to include weekends in your calendar view. And those are actually easy to modify up in the settings, and I'll get to those hopefully soon. But I want to kind of show you, if you look over here, you have a little quick navigation for creating events, quick ads, tasks, a little quick full month calendar. You can quickly go to a date. You also have your calendars. These are where your main calendars, and I only have one right here. However, you can add multiple. You can have more than just one personal calendar. Down here is other calendars. And this is where we'll get into where if someone shares their calendar with you, that is where that will appear. And you, they will have colors. Like right mine is not on the screen, I don't know if you can really tell, it was black, but this is actually red. If I click on it, a color palette will appear. And it kind of is just for the purpose of helping you distinguish people's calendars by colors, because when you have multiple calendars in here, it'll overlap each other. Now I just click once in this pane. It'll automatically prompt for a full hour block. And it'll give you time up here, time that's being created, and what. You can create events. Just if I just typed in test event. And if I didn't want to add anything else to it, it's real plain and simple, that's an event on my calendar. You'll notice that there's a little tiny line here, there's double lines. That, and when you move your cursor over it, allows you to expand it.
How do you get?
I want that only to be a half-hour block. Now, if you want that to be a half-hour block automatically, you click here and drag. Just remember to drag back up with your cursor. Hold and click and do that to create just a 30-minute block schedule. I don't want it, that one. Right click, I just get the options to delete, or I can edit. I'm going to actually edit it. And these are some of the options you have with that calendar event. You just want to be simple. Yeah, you click on it at the right time, but if you, for some reason, just click on the calendar period and you can really pay attention where you initially create that event, you can definitely change the time here, the date, time, when it ends, and that date as well. And it'll update on your calendar, whatever date it is. Simple select all day. Does it repeat or not? You can modify those options. Of course, you've already typed the name of your event. You can type the location. Depending on how you type in your location, if it's an address. The neat thing is that
Who set that up originally?
it may, sometimes Google will auto add a link to Google Maps.
Maybe bullets.
And when you click on that link, so of course it'll take you to Google Maps, show you where it's at. This right here is a list of the calendars. Since again I only have one, it's only for mine. And you can write a quick description. about it. You can actually even save it as a Google Doc as well. Over to the right, this is how you specify if you've shared your calendar with somebody, which that would appear over here, and we'll get to those. Whether or not the guests, when you invite somebody, whether they can modify the event, invite others, see guests. And here's your reminders. You can email reminders, minutes, days, weeks, hours. And if you're constantly in your Gmail account, you can even specify a pop-up. Now the one option there is, and it's not displaying here because I haven't set it up, is, as I said before, text messaging. It will send you a text message about the event. But in order to do that, I'm going to venture up to settings. Up at the top right, that's the settings icon. And this is where you control your calendar. Some of the modifications you can do. You can choose your date format, time format, weeks. Decide, like I said, if you want your calendar to go starts on Sundays, your preference. Show weekends, your default view. That is, every time you open up calendars, what it's going to look like. You just want to always show the day. That's completely up to you. That one tab that was up at the top about specifying days, you can specify 5 days, 4 days, 3, all the way up to 4 weeks. And there's some other stuff here you can look at. But what I was going to get to was text messaging. I have it set up here. I'm not going to, but you can if you'd like. It's already on the United States, but you would put your phone number in there. And once you put your phone number, you can send a verification code to your cell phone. In Google, the verification code is important because then you'll input it into the verification slot. And you'll hit finish. That will allow and know that Google can send text messages to your phone. And once you have that complete in your calendars for reminders, that will be one of the options. Instead of just email and pop-up, you'll have the ability to send a text message. Let's go into, over to the left, calendar settings. Under My Calendar, I click on Calendar Settings. This pulls up, even if you clicked on other calendars and settings, it pulls up the same option, the same menu. And it's a quick reference, just to, it does the same as this button does it. Just multiple different locations to get to one place. I have my default. This is my personal one. You do not want to delete it.
You can delete those other calendars.
You could if you wanted to, but I'd suggest not to delete it. You can create a new calendar. You can call it whatever you like. I'll just create this one. Write a description. I'm not going to. And right off the bat, you can decide whether you want to share it with anybody. If I check that, it auto-checks. Be careful. It auto-checks to share your calendar with everyone in the district. They can see all your events, or you can just put it as free and busy. I would advise, just before you click save, to uncheck that, because unless you've spent, this is just the default for this. You can actually share your calendar with specific people, and we'll get to that as well. But that's just the default sharing. I don't really care to share at that location. I want to share down here, specific people. If I typed in Dallas' name, it'll show up. I click on it, and it's automatically done. I've allowed him to see all events in my calendar, but I can also modify it right here. There's a see all events, but if you click on the list menu, you can definitely modify. And if you just want somebody, even though you want them just to see your calendar, but you just want them to see busy, or you don't want them to actually see the details. That's what hide and whether or not you're free or busy. So they can't, all they see is that you're busy for that time block. They can't see what you're doing or anything like that. That comes in handy sometimes, depending on what you want to do. And you can add more people, however many you want.
I sent it to. Yeah, you're invited to lunch. But if we did that, this is tomorrow. Hey, it was tomorrow. Google's just a tech. Like Yahoo.
And you guys can go ahead and test it by adding, you probably already have, add some of the neighbors next to you to a calendar, to view your calendar.
You can get it, yeah.
Yeah. Cancel. Obviously, I didn't change it. Yeah, I'm curious. I'm just gonna see if I can send it to you. In my papers. So. Oh, because it didn't show up the first time. And then save.
I've shared a calendar with this account. Someone shared a calendar with me. And as some of you probably already seen, that it shows up under your other calendars. Once you have this, especially if you've granted or someone has granted you the ability to edit their calendar, or you've given the permission for them to edit yours, when I go to create an appointment here, when we create this whole block, I can, I'm going to go into edit.
I don't think so. I don't know if it's here. I'll refresh it. I refreshed, and now I have it. It show up.
No, yeah, you can always add.
But you can add more information. Yeah.
Okay, I've got yours. So what am I doing here? Just saying if the calendar, is calendar on here?
Okay, there we go. I had the settings wrong on this personal camera. Like I went over before, when you
That's yours.
share your calendar with somebody, make sure you select the correct share settings. if they can just see all your event details, they can't edit or anything like that. I wanted this person to be able to manage and make changes and also even share out my calendar without my permission. But anyways, we're back at this person's calendar, and I wanted to make a block. You notice if you have permission to edit someone else's calendar, this little option is going to appear. And that option will always default to you personally. But if I want to make an event on demo user's account, I can select it and go down, and I will have a list of all the calendars that I have permission to edit. If all my permissions are just to view, then that will not show up. But if I have permission on demo users to edit their calendar and it's changed to blue, because that's their designated color. But whatever color you specify, that'll work. Either way, I'm making an event on their calendar, and I create the event, and it's there. And it'll automatically be in.
This is the brightness that she sent me.
I think it might calendar. With my calendar, I think it's.
This is demo user. The event I've added to that person's calendar is now in there. They can do it automatically in theirs. So I've made an adjustment to their calendar.
I'm here, got mine.
We got to do this.
Oh.
Pretty easy. Depending upon share permissions, the calendar will take different places. If you have full rights, and when I meant full, I mean you can actually share someone else's calendar with more people.
So then what?
It will show up under your calendar because it's almost as if it was your calendar because you have full rights to that person's calendar. Still down here for other calendars, that is where anybody that just has view permissions
And you.
and unless you're just free and busy, will appear in that.
No, click mine. They click yours.
Change that back to month if I want to see a month.
But it wasn't.
I didn't see it showed up on mine. Maybe it wasn't.
And on each calendar, like I've talked about the notifications, you can always go in and rechange notifications. You can you can put global notifications for the full calendar, so you don't have to do it on specific events. You can specify it, and here's the SMS for text messaging. It gives you a little bit more granular. You know, anytime you get a new one, especially if you're having somebody manage your calendar for you for the most part. That's handy.
Change the default.
I don't know if I'll use this, yeah. I'm afraid if I added something, I'm afraid I'll switch to everybody.
It was on your own.
If I was on mine, usually.
Also, any calendars that have been shared with you, you can easily unsubscribe from their calendar as well if you no longer want to view it.
Yeah, I saw that.
And that's just within in your calendar settings. You can still see a list of any calendar that you've created, shared, people shared with you, and there's just a handy unsubscribe.
Here.
And like I remember cautions, do not delete your own calendar, especially if you have lots and lots of stuff in it.
So if I,
There's more advanced options. I won't necessarily get into those.
which I should do, because I
They're
don't.
not used as often, but you can import calendars from the web. If there's a website that has a calendar, that on that website, sometimes they allow you to download it as a file and upload it to Google.
Back on your calendar.
Not as common, but it's definitely a nice feature. Google also allows kind of sports calendars that you can subscribe to, depending upon your preference. There's also other calendars you can subscribe to. Does anybody have any questions? The what? Okay. I went over to, you need to go up here to settings at the top right. Go down to your calendars. And right under my calendars and right around the other, there's browse interesting calendars. And you can unsubscribe to those just as if you would unsubscribe to somebody else here.
It'll always bring it up.
Also, one other thing is, if you're like some people and you happen to have calendars with lots of people, and you have multiple colors, you set up to help you filter out the view, you don't always have to have their calendar on a viewing pane. If you move your cursor over the calendars, they kind of flicker. If you click on it, it just takes the view of that calendar out of your default view of yours. So you only see yours. But at any time, if they've updated yours and you just want to verify it, you can always just click on it again, and it'll bring any events and it updates. And even if it hasn't refreshed, there's a nice little refresh tool here. You just click it, it'll refresh the calendar page and it's updated. But like most people, I don't personally need to see someone's calendar 24/7. Only when I need to look up something, if they're doing something, or I need to add an event to their calendar, and I would just want to verify there's time open for them.
15th, I think it starts. Oh my gosh, now it's on my website too. See? Okay, I'm gonna send you. I didn't send it to you, right? Okay. It's not anybody else's. This is just Wes. Okay. But I could do it together. Good.
Does anybody have any questions over the calendar? There's so much more you could actually do with it. It's kind of a personal preference in what you want to do. I'm just going to kind of just mention it that in your calendar settings, you have your general tab, general settings, of course, calendar tab that we've kind of gone over, the mobile tab, and there's this little thing called labs. If I click on labs, these are little add-ons you can do to your calendar, and you can read through them. Some of them are handy, some of them are just kind of stupid. Some of them are actually kind of handy. You read through them, and if you enable them in your calendar settings, right up here at the top right of the view screen, but it's under labs. And these are just some of the add-on features you can do, and you can always enable or disable if you just like it. Like I said, some of them definitely have a nice feature to it, a supplement to your calendar. Nobody has any questions? Try to cover email. Since email is kind of the core, it helps all these applications work together And it's actually probably the most, going to be the most things you use, besides calendars and docs. And I'm just going to hit some of the, sending an email if you use Yahoo, any of that. It's fairly straightforward, just like Yahoo Mail, any of that. Your inbox, any items that you've starred, you can place some stars next to them. Your sent mail, any emails that you've sent. Drafts, of course, those are handy. These are so faint that you can change the colors if I click on it. There's a little drop down menu. I can specify colors, again, to help distinguish things. Google Email also has, just like Google Docs, folders. But you have, in Google, folders are more like labels, actually. It's a way to filter your inbox. If I had this message, if I click on it, I can go up to labels. And there's some default ones, follow-up, miscellaneous, priority. I can also create new ones as well, or I can manage it. I'm going to create a new label. And I'm just going to make this one 10. And you'll notice now in the email there's a little tiny label on it with 10. And that color, again, personal preference, however you want to set it, I can change it to blue to be more prominent. The neat thing is, once you start creating labels, and just like with Google Docs, you can either do the checkbox, or you see the little hand appears, you can, oh, I click on it. You can click and hold. Oh. That's not what you want, apparently. Oh, it's right here. There's a little tiny, yeah. Sorry on the projector, you really can't see it, but right at the leftmost of the checkbox, there is a few little dots. But if you look on your screen, you should be able to see it. If you click on that, it auto-checks it, and it holds it on the cursor. And I can move it to whatever folder I want. Or I can just move it right to drafts or to the trash. Trash is down here. I hovered under Google nicely condenses a lot of the less seen options, trash, spam, all your mail, stuff like that. But I can drag it down here if I want to. I'm not going to. But it highlights. And those are your labels. And you can make labels for multiple things. If I had more emails in here, I could check all of them and apply a label to all of them. And the neat feature about that is if, just like in Google Docs, if you have 100 emails or 1,000 emails in your inbox, and you have been good at labeling certain emails, especially from individuals, you can go over here to your labels you've created, or folders, however you want to say it, and just click on it. And it will automatically search through your entire inbox that you've made labels for, and pull them, and they'll list them just right there. And even from here, you can checkbox it, mark it as unread, add it to tasks. You can add a star to it just to make sure that, favorite, something you really need to see, and archive. And also you can specify filtering messages. We'll go into filter real quick. But archive is something that if you don't want them in your inbox anymore, but you don't want necessarily to delete them, and you just want a clean inbox all the time, you can just nicely archive your mail. And I'm going to do that by checking on it. And I'm going to, archive's right there. If I click archive, it's gone from my inbox, but it's not deleted. It's actually all the way down. And what I clicked on is, even though it says 4 more, that's just, it numbers however many options you've decided to hide. But there's an option called All Mail. And if I click All Mail, it'll show everything in my entire Gmail. Things I've sent, everything that's in there has been archived just for the purpose of cleaning up and easier maintaining a viewable workspace in your email, especially if you have emails that are years old and you don't necessarily need them in your inbox. Another thing you might want to pay attention to is contacts. Over to the left and down, all the way down here, right above tasks, there's contacts. Now, the one thing you'll notice is that you will not see everyone in the district. That's because that's a global contact list that is auto-populated every time you send an email, and we'll send an email real quick. And even in calendars or docs, when you share something with someone, it auto-fills as you type everyone, or based upon, of course, the spelling of their name in the district. The reason is probably because they want people trying to delete people that are actually supposed to be in the district contact list. But this is for your personal contact list, and Google nicely every people you email, it'll start auto-filling people you contacted the most, automatically for you. And it's fairly, they want to make a simple layout. This one just makes a new contact for one person. You can specify their name, of course, title, email. You can add multiple emails to them. But this is not a good place to try to set up a group. And I'll get to that. That's what that's for. But if someone has multiple email addresses, you can add more there. You can add phone numbers and such. Website. I mean, you can get fairly more information on there than some people might need. But if I wanted to, I'm going to cancel this because I don't need to create somebody. But if I wanted to create a group, a mailing list, I can create for us tech. And it'll create a tech group. And this one, you can add multiple people to this mailing list. And that's your own personal mailing list that you want to specify. The district has, and we're going to send out, we've sent it out a few times, but we'll send out another one. It's a document that has all the mailing lists that we personally create for the district to use. There's about 30, I believe. Not all of them are very necessarily important because each building has usually 2 or 3, and it's just for the convenience of that building. And we'll send out that mailing list for that. There's always the default announce, which sends it to everybody in the district.
I want to make a note about announce. You must approve your message before you're allowed to send it to announce. We do not allow announce to be used for rummage sales, personal notes to others, invitations to items. It is only for inter-school communications, and it must be approved by your building's administrator before it's allowed to be sent out. If you use announce inappropriately, we will let you know about it. It's not something that we like to use for just anything, because if we use it in a spamming type where we're sending invitations or letting people know that we're going to have a rummage sale, then people are going to start ignoring you, and we don't want that. When you see an announce, you need to read it because it is something that is intended for every user in the district. So we try not to use it for anything other than actual inter-school communications.